Hello, this is
Hello, Mutoi.
this is Motoi Yamamoto, and I would like to have interview with Lars Lunken, whom I worked with in Findhorn years ago. Okay, hello Lars.
Hi, Mutoi. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm very, very well, to speak in Eileen Caddy's words.
Okay, let's start the interview. I would like you to share your experience in Findhorn. And so my question number one is, what bring you to the Findhorn?
Yes, very early in my life, when I was a teenager, I read a book about guardian angels, and it was written by a German woman, and she mentioned in a sentence that there are a couple with a friend in the north of Scotland, and they are running a garden with the help of angels. And this image, she didn't tell much more about it, and it was not a community or something. It was just this couple with this woman friend who built the garden with the help of angels. And that image I felt immediately a strong connection and a desire to join them, because I don't know why, it was just intuitive. It was touching me very much. And then I forgot about it, and like 20, 25 years later, someone mentioned Findhorn and that he was there. That's a community where you can do an experience week. And then this image immediately came back to my consciousness, and I started to research in the internet, and I found out, and then I bought books and was reading about the history of this community, and I was very fascinated about it. And so that in the end that I decided to go there and do an experience week in 2010.
2010. Okay.
Yes.
Do you remember when I met you?
Yeah, at first,
I
probably,
stayed there in between 2008 to 2011.
yes. And I stayed 2010 in August. I did my experience week, and after the experience, I went back to Berlin, and then a couple of weeks later, I went back to Findhorn, and probably that was the time when we met. I did like living in community, like programs like that, and then I stayed for a longer period. And I think in this time we started to connect deeper, and you were always part of the little family we had there. No,
Oh, thank you.
it was like,
Okay.
yeah.
So, question number two, what was the most important event for you?
Yeah, that's a difficult question, because I can't point out like a special event. Like there are so many events available in Findhorn.
Yeah.
You can join so many and choose from so many offers, because everyone can offer what he gives. Like you offered your yoga class in the morning, and then you can donate something, and I liked it that very much. And there was all these events where also the education in the programs was very professional from my perspective, and very deep, and I can't really point out one special thing that really was beautiful. But what I really have in mind was the singing, the Tai Si singing. And then there was something like harmonic temple singing, and then people sitting around singing together very simple spiritual tunes.
Yeah.
And that was really touching to me, to sing together in a choir and chant these spirit melodies. And but in the end, the most beautiful thing was to be with people and with the spirit, because that is so difficult to establish in the normal world, or when you are living in a city and doing your job, and then there are so many influences. And in Findhorn, there was more space to really integrate the spirit in the everyday life, and that happened for me through the connection with these people I met there, and there were so many, and it was so beautiful to connect with them. So, and I'm not the type who is looking for a lot of people. I really, it was a challenge to me to went into this, because I need a lot of retreat. But when I was there, I felt so much trust, and it was really beautiful for me to be there, and because I could relax and I felt so cared of. Maybe it was the energy, but it was also the people, because it's kind of a neutral place, and nobody has to be afraid that somebody will talk about him or do something bad. And so there's a level of trust, and that enables the people to share also deeper stories, and in a place which is not home. And so the people are not so afraid to share. So that was probably these connections, these talks, these conversations with the people, the friendships that built it there. That was really the most important thing for me that I got from.
I understand. Yeah. I think the friendship we built in Findhorn was so special.
Yes.
And I think since I came back to Japan, I also was looking for the friendship like before, but I couldn't find any. It's so special.
I agree totally.
Yeah. Okay, number 3. Tell me your spiritual experience in Findhorn.
Yeah, my spiritual experience in Findhorn.
Do you have any special experience?
I don't have a special event, like I said before, like a special workshop. I mean, I did a lot of different things there. Like I did Astro Shamanic with Franco Santoro
I see. Yeah, I remember.
And that was really special. Franco Santoro is an Astro Shamanic teacher, a shamanic teacher, and that was really special and beautiful. But all the other things too, like working in the garden, or when I was working in Clooney home care department, everything was beautiful. And yeah, I don't know if it's the right answer, but what I get now is really this conscious, to keep the consciousness that the spirit is with me all the time. That has deepened really in me after I came back here, and that is really what I took with me from Findhorn, that I could better integrate the spirit in my everyday life, so to say, that I practiced more my meditations, and was taking much more care what I say to people and how I react and what I'm doing, and that I'm always thinking much more about doing God's will. That's a big sentence, but I want to, so I can't point out one special spiritual experience, but the meditation, for example, was great, because there were so many opportunities in every group meeting of the programs we had. We had meditations together, and that really was very helpful. And I had some beautiful, beautiful experiences during some of these meditations. And that that was really in the everyday life. Also, when you start the workshop, you keep all your workmates on the hands, and then you invite the spirit in this workshop. And when you do this for a long, in the beginning, it's a bit foreign, but then it became so beautiful, and it creates this atmosphere of peace, and I guess so. That was beautiful for me.
Did you have a special experience when you did meditation?
I had one special. There's the landscape angel. This is
Landscape angel.
the Findhorn landscape.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was discovered by Dorothy McLean, one of the founders. And that is an energy or a being that builded over the 60 years of the community by all the people who came there and did good work and meditated, and this angel is creating also this beautiful energy in Findhorn. And we had a guided meditation in one of our programs. I don't remember which. It was probably it doesn't matter. But in this guided meditation, I was overwhelmed by the energy, because I got in a deep contact with this angel, and I have very imaginary meditation technique. And then I was really very intense contact with the landscape angel, and I felt so loved, and it was so healing. It was really a healing experience, because it felt like I come home, and in my life I'm often was not so much loved or judged or attacked, and it was really healing to feel this love and this peace and this care, and I felt so secure.
Okay. Number 4. Did you think why people come to Findhorn?
Yeah, they say that you will hear the call, like you can, I think you can say to a person, I think, you should go maybe to Findhorn. I tried that with some friends of mine, and I wanted to suppose to them to go to Findhorn because it could be good for them, but it never worked. So I think, like in my case, I had this image in my head from the book I read when I was a child, and then later it was activated. And there are so many different stories about people, how they came to Findhorn. But I think you need, people go then to Findhorn because they feel a lack of sense in their life, or a lack of purpose, and they are not satisfied with their life, with their career, or they are looking for something deeper. And this is very missed in our societies today, because it's all about earning money and consumption, and the inside is so empty, and that makes people depressed, and then taking psychopharmacs or getting ill, and or feeling lonely, or whatever all these problems are of our modern civilizations. And this, from my experience, it is the lack of spirit in our life, because we are connected to the higher realms, and in Findhorn you can really experience this, how to reconnect with this, because it's inside, with the heart quality, and then find peace, or even in difficult circumstances in your life, you can still be quiet, like in the eye of the thunderstorm, or of the eye of the hurricane, and that is something that you can learn in Findhorn, and I think people then feel the desire maybe inside of them, and when you start to read a book, or then you can maybe imagine or understand how it is there, and then you feel the desire to go there and to experience this. And because there are not many opportunities to do this in a workshop in a city for over the weekend, it's really different to live in Findhorn for a while, or be there for a week, or even do a tour work. or then stay for a while. And
You said in Findhorn you felt you were not judged.
yes,
Was it the one of the reasons you came to Findhorn? So in Findhorn you feel safe, not judged.
yes,
It
yes.
means outside the Findhorn and in the reality, you sometimes you feel you are judged and not safe.
Absolutely, always, because
Always.
not always, but the society is really not social. I mean, with jobs, I lost my job. They mocked me. I did so good work for them for 5 years, and then they just kicked me out. And it's normal in this world. It's the
5
business.
years? Wow.
Yes. And it's like that in this world. It's all about money. It's all about money, and it's not about the heart. It's not about taking care of people. Companies, business companies, they don't. They just want to earn money. Even the medical, the doctors, they also want money, and it goes more in this direction. No, after the COVID pandemic, it's became very stressful place for me to live in under the governments that are not very careful with their people. They are very and that is an energy that I feel all the time. I don't feel safe in under my government. My government, I don't trust my government. I'm sorry, but they are not good. They have different interests than I have, and it's in most countries it's like that. And I mean,
Yeah, I think my company is not safe as well.
Yeah. So in Findhorn, it was more easy to connect with my own heart quality and to feel secure and to strengthen my power. And it was like a training and then to go back to the real world. My plan was to stay there, but I realized I can't really live in the community forever, and so I needed to go back. And
why did you feel you can't live in a community?
I think it's just because of my personality. You know, I'm astrologer, and then because of that, I know every person is very different structured. The personality is very different structure. For example, when you have your sun in the 7th house, you are a person, then you are a person who always needs contact. That would be a person that is perfect for living in a community because your personality is nurtured by contacts and connections. I mean, it's for everyone in the end, but this is very strong in a person with a sun in the 7th house. My sun is in the 4th house, and the 4th house is the retreat house, the deepest point. And then this is a personality that needs retreat much more than others. And you need silence, and you need to be with your own. You have this need because you quickly feel overwhelmed and overloaded, and that it was just because I'm a person that needs more retreat than others. So I also, after 2 years in Findhorn, I felt like slowly in front of a burnout, because it's very intense place. Also, it's so intense, and on the weekends you have to do community jobs, and you never have really free time. It's not a problem because everything is so beautiful there, and all the things, even the work is much different than in normal world, because they try to do it in a peaceful and in a not stressful way. But yes, that's the reason. For me.
Okay. Question number 6. Findhorn has been changing until now. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I can't really, I can only answer this question from my distant perspective, because I have not been there since 11 years. but I'm still in contact with a lot of friends I met there, and also with some friends that are still living there. I'm in in connection, and I also followed all over Facebook and other media the development of the community, and I guess they suffered also very much of the COVID
I think
pandemic.
Findhorn was closed for a few years.
Exactly.
They couldn't get guests.
And they also need to a lot of residents need to leave because there was no income. And then they lost 2 buildings, the main building park, the
That's so
sanctuary.
shocking for me.
Yes, it was.
You know, I when it happened, I opened my computer and I just saw Findhorn was burning live. And just in time, and I didn't intend to see that, but just I saw it, and it was so shocking.
Yes, it was. Was the same for me. It was very shocking. It was a pain in the heart because in this sanctuary I had so beautiful memories meditating together with Dorothy McLean. She was 91 years old, I guess, in this time. And this sanctuary was so special to me. I mean, it's the story also, it was like the government needs to know what kind of building you have in your community. And the sanctuary was officially a garage. And that's shows for me the simplicity of Findhorn, the ordinary. It's not a place which is from above. And that was attractive to me, that I feel I can build my connection, and I don't need someone else to be a mediator or something. And that's the story of Findhorn also. Like Eileen Caddy, when she was living in the caravan with their family, and with Dorothy McLean, with 5 people in a little caravan, she couldn't find a place to meditate. And then her guidance told her, why don't you go to the toilet? And then she did that. I mean, in Scotland in the winter with a big wool, and she sat there and did her meditation. And I find the story so wonderful because it's it just tells us you can do it everywhere. It's inside. It has nothing to do with outer circumstances or with where you are, or you don't need to be in a special place. You can even do it in a toilet. That's wonderful. But yeah, so you ask about how Findhorn changed, and I think they probably had a huge challenge because they lost those buildings. They also lost the community center, which was a big, the dining room and also workshop rooms. But they will recover, I'm sure, because I remember in one book, I don't remember which one, but the guidance of Eileen Caddy once said, Findhorn will become like a tree, and with a very huge and stable trunk. And sometimes the branches will break when there will be a big storm in the world, but the trunk and the roots are so strong, they will survive. And I'm sure, because this world really needs places like Findhorn, because they offer the other side of what the governments offer. The governments really have strange ideas about us people, I guess. Those transhumanists from United States, and they want to build a world without spirit, and more technically, that every human being will be hackable and kind of slave, and not be a free person, and so places like Findhorn will become probably more important in the future, and Findhorn has a long history developed, and so I think they have also a beautiful future.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
and they're also used in transformations. They have a long history of dealing with challenges, because they are a non-government organization, no? And they don't get money. They always need to earn their own money, and this is more challenging than when you work for the church, where the money flows always.
I think while I was in Findhorn once, we had a meeting. Whole
Yes.
committee had a big meeting and talk about the problem of the community. And then they started talking about lack of money.
Yes.
And they tried to sort it out. What is the solution? And they started kind of fighting.
Yes.
Which department should save money, all kinds of things. And then someone said, maybe we can have a meditation, asking help for the angels. And we decided, we agreed, and we decided to have a meditation together. And then 1 year later, next conference, then we had a news of someone died, and that person left quite a big money to Findhorn.
Wow. Yes.
And I was very surprised.
That's beautiful. That's really a beautiful story, because the spirit is integrated, and that's the thing in Findhorn, that in Findhorn also there's tension between people, and there are also, it's not a super holy place. It's people are people, and then you have tension with this one and this one you like, and all these things are there too. But the difference is really the company of the spirit, and that is helpful in these situations. And this story, what you just told, is when you read the books of the history, how they developed, the guidance said always, you need to trust, and then it comes. And there are so many stories when they needed money and they didn't have money, and then suddenly the money came from somewhere. And I guess this is really when you are in tune with the spirit, because then you do God's will, and you are with the spirit in tune, and then you will be supported. When you are acting out of your ego, the spirit will not support you, because it's your ego, and it's your thing, and not good for the whole, no? And when you ask for something which is good for the whole, then the support will come. But yeah, it's a beautiful story that you just told, I guess.
Okay, number 7 question. If you have any memories about Findhorn founders, Eileen, Peter, Dorothy, please tell me.
Yes, this is with the picture I get when I was a child, that activated a huge desire, I remember, inside of me. I even wanted to leave my family to go there and to be with them. It was really like the strong desire, and when I started the research about the community, I came across the Findhorn retreat given by Eckhart Tolle in 2005, I guess it was, or 2003, something like that. And I watched the DVD from the event, and there was Eileen Caddy sitting, and I never saw a picture of her before, but I felt a strong connection. I thought this must be the person, Eileen Caddy. She sat there in the first row and she was smiling, and I felt the energy, and that built a lot of trust in myself, and activated me to do more research and then to go there. And when I was there, then I felt very lucky to that Dorothy McLean still have been there, because her book, You Can Hear the Angels Sing, I was reading then as I was a teenager. And to meet her then, it was really beautiful, because she was very old. She was more than 90 years old, but she walked around in the park always, and her smile was so beautiful and spreading love. And I remember I was driving with my bike from my bungalow where I lived. I needed to go with the bike to the garden where I worked, and often I met her. She was sitting on a bench and she was looking at me, and we shared this smile together, and that was just beautiful, and that was just it. I never had strong conversations with her, but also the meditations we did in the sanctuary together in the morning, that she was always the first in the sanctuary, I remember, and I was very impressed. She was sitting there in silence, and when I entered, I felt very happy that she was there, and yeah, that also I brought her meal from time to time. She was taking her meal in her bungalow because she was so old, she don't wanted to sit with all these 100 people together. So someone had to bring her meal in the evening to the bungalow, and sometimes I did that, and it was always so beautiful to meet her. They are still all present in my consciousness, and I feel they are part of my family, and that gives me power, because sometimes I'm very lonely. I feel not loved in this life, and I need to be strong, and that gives me power to feel connected with those people, even if they are not alive anymore.
I haven't done it for Dorothy sometimes when I was in the kitchen, park kitchen.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you think, I think people are connected into three types. Dorothy's type, connecting with nature or deeper, and Eileen connecting with God, and she can receive a message from God. And Peter Caddy, he can't connect with God, but he can make it happen. So who do you think you are? What type of the person you are?
That's a good question, because I was always looking for hearing a voice also, or having a better connection with my spirit guides, or like Eileen, or hearing a voice, or and for me it also doesn't work. I'm more the Peter Caddy type. I have a very strong intuition, that I'm very grateful for, and I understood it's not meant for everyone to hear a voice, or to have something spectacular, or asking something and then the diva is telling you what to do.
Me too.
And I don't need to feel less, because I know my intuition is very strong, and everyone is different, and I'm not less spiritual when I don't hear a voice, so to say, no?
We have different gifts.
Yes, exactly, and everybody plays a different role in the whole game, and everybody gives something different.
But I feel the same as you do. I always long for the message from God, and I meditated and listened, but I've never had a message from God, and I was so sad about it. But maybe we have different laws in life. So I have to do something like Peter Caddy.
Yes, and you do, and that's beautiful, and it's also maybe an exercise to trust not have a proof like hearing a voice or something, but to trust you're on the right path, and to not feel insecure about it, but to feel strong. And when I was working as a bike messenger for 5 years, I was always trying to channel energy from above through my body in the environment, and that was working very well. That was my spiritual work on my bike messenger job, and I felt very good about it, and so yeah, everyone has to find his own way to God, I guess. There are so many different like people.
Okay. Question 8. Would you like to visit Findhorn again?
Yes, I would love to visit Findhorn again. It's a question of money. I would have loved to go there much more.
It's a question of money.
It's not so. Yeah, you need to pay the flight, and you need to stay there. And but one day I really would love to go there again. Absolutely, because still there are people I know, and even if they would not be there, this place is so special to me, and I would very much love to go there again. I even can imagine whenever I retire, is that when you stop working, I could move over there in the wider community, because Findhorn also has this wider community where just live, and you can participate in or offer your service or participate in what you want differently than when you are in the foundation, working for the foundation. Then it's very intense because you have a lot of responsibility and tasks, and but I hope the day will come when I will visit
That would
again.
be wonderful. That would be wonderful.
Absolutely.
Okay. Number 9. What do you feel for Findhorn now?
I feel I'm so thankful and grateful that it exists, and that I could get in touch with Findhorn in my life, because it really gives me a place of security still, even if I'm not there. And so I'm very grateful, and I'm still do research. I can show you, there were in the 70s, there were like a magazine from Findhorn. It's called One Earth, and I love this. I mean, I'm a books. I was working as a bookseller. I love books, and this is like a magazine, and with pictures that people did when they and they have different issues, and it's came out, I guess, every half year, one, over a period of 2 years, and it's beautiful. I love to read it, and and I also feel a lot of respect and gratefulness for the residents in Findhorn, for the people who has been challenged by the pandemic, losing their jobs and losing income, and even if they needed to leave, or if they still there and running the ship, they did a huge job, I guess, because it was not easy, and it is still not easy, and they still do a beautiful work, and I have so much respect and love for them, and I'm very grateful that they are running, and so I think they will recover, and they will play a good part in the future. I think they will play an important part for the world as a center of light that are so needed in this world today.
Once I had a chance to talk with one of my old friends who stayed in Findhorn before.
Okay.
And he said he visited Findhorn last summer.
Okay.
And still Findhorn was not really open for the guest, but he came to Findhorn to spend the time in summer. And he said he was not happy in Findhorn.
Yes.
Because some workshop was not really what he thought. It was
Yes.
outsourcing.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, that's it's probably part of the challenge that they are going through, because I also met when I was in my parents' house, I was walking the dog and I met a person that I don't know in the forest, and and we get in a conversation, and then we were talking about Findhorn like
Yeah,
this. So
yeah.
it was so funny, and she said friends of her who were therapists, they went for centuries there for doing their workshops there, and they also went there after the pandemic, and they also was shocked about the lack of energy and about yeah, how different it felt to be there, because and that just says that they had a huge kick in the ass in the end because of the pandemic. I mean, it's logical. They exist about the income, and when they can't have income anymore because they can't host guests, and then it's very destructive. But as I said, I'm sure the trunk is very deep rooted, and we are all going through a lot of existential challenges, and Findhorn is not different from this, and so I think it's just logical that they changed, and not for the good, but I'm sure they will develop well, and it just needs a little time, and I'm the things that they offered during the pandemic I found so beautiful. There was I don't remember her name. She was doing a weekly live video. She was walking around on different places in Findhorn and sharing the daily guidance from Eileen and talk about it. And they try to connect with the people more over the internet, over Facebook and maybe other things. And so I think they really try to do their best. The people, they still run the community, but they are very challenged also. And it's for everyone also is going there is also to give. It's both. It's not only to receive, but also to give what you can give, and then you can play a part in the whole, you know? And that's beautiful, and I hope it will in the future. And as you ask if I want to go there again, if there would be an opportunity, I would love to go there and give something, because I am so grateful that it exists, this center of light.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I hope to see you there.
That would be beautiful, Motoe. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So, how do you feel now?
I feel good. I was a bit nervous, but I feel good. All the days I'm not in a good condition. You're still recording?
Yes. Do
Yes.
you want me to stop?
I don't know.
Okay. I will stop now, so you can talk.
Goodbye.
No.
No, not to you. I say goodbye to the others.
I just want to stop recording.
Yes.